Hey everyone, today I'm making a deck check about my green-white Landfall Set Deck. I have already made a video about this deck where I'm playing with it, so if you want to see more, just click the link above, here in the corner. So this deck belongs to Standard since it's Zendikar Rising, and you can see the whole theme is about monsters, wilderness, nature, predatory. The Battle for Zendikar set from 2015 featured the battle between the denizens of Zendikar and the cosmic horror entities known as the Eldrazi's. While the Eldrazi's were defeated, it left the plane of Zendikar really scarred. And this Zendikar Rising set marks the return to a wilderness adventure storyline. The plane is a place of danger and excitement, and it contains hidden shrines and trapped eldritch creatures deep beneath the surface, and it also has the thing called the Roil, a magical force that shapes and reshapes the world at will. When the Roil gets going, anything could happen. The river could become a mountain, the cliff could become a seaside paradise, the pile of rocks could become a murderous creature, and you can see that so perfectly on the land cards. Actually, we have here, for example, the Roiling Regrowth. This is like, an example. And one of the main mechanics in Zendikar is Landfall. This mechanic has been in Zendikar from the beginning and still works as it did back then. When a land comes into play, an effect is triggered in combination with fetch lands or also with evolving wilds. The effect can be triggered more than once in a turn, and it can just blast the whole game. One of the coolest things is that the Zendikar Rising set also introduced modal double-faced cards, where you can decide either to play a land or the creature or the sorcery or an instant on the back. You have so many choices, and it makes the game so flexible. Let's take a closer look on the cards. It's a landfall deck, so it's necessary to play every turn a land to activate our creature's ability. Almost all of them have a particular ability, and the more we activate them, the more they will grow. So at the beginning we have 3 model double-faced cards. The first one is Kabira Takedown. So it deals damage to any opponent's creature equal to the number of creatures we control. It's really effective against flying creatures because we have nothing with reach, and it works so well with our Skewed Swarm, which produces so many tokens so we can take out every big creature. Then we have Seijiri Shelter to protect one of our creatures, especially Skewed Swarm. We want to protect. And then we have Skyclave Cleric, just to build up our defense, where we are not only get a good creature with toughness 3, but also 2 life. Then we have some creatures for 2 mana. The first one is Fearless Fledging, which always gets bigger whenever we play a land, and it's always get flying additionally until end of turn, so it can just fly over the opponent's creatures and attack. We have also 4 copies of Kazandu Nectarpot, also with landfall. For each land we play, we will get life. Then we have Murasa, in case we will not draw cards because the shuffler is screwed up, so we can bring back lands and play it again and again. Next, for 3 mana, we have our Kazandu Mammoth with landfall. Every time we play a land, it will get +2/+2 until end of turn, but unfortunately it doesn't have trample. Then we have Roiling Regrowth. The advantage of this card is it's an instant, so we can play it at the end of our opponent's turn, and we will put 2 lands on the battlefield, but we have to sacrifice 1. It works so good with Fearless Fledging, Skewed Swarm or Felidar Retreat. Then we have our Skyclave Apparition, So if our opponent has some annoying creatures, we can just use our Skyclave Apparition. It's so good because it exiles a non-land, non-token permanent card. And our opponent will get a token with X, where X is the mana he spent for this, for his spell. Yeah, but it doesn't matter actually, because the yield is just always bigger. One of the best cards in this deck is, of course, Skewed Swarm. It's always better to wait until we will play our 6th land, because otherwise our opponent will just kill it with instant cards. So we can just also keep maybe Seijiri Shelter just to protect it, and use Evolving Wilds to make a copy of that. And every time we play our land, and if we have more than 6, it makes a copy of itself with the same ability. It's just insane. And then we have Legion Angel, just 1 copy, and 2 other copies are in the sideboard. Here we have the Legion Angel twice. Yeah, and when Legion Angel enters the battlefield, we will bring the card into our hand from our side deck, so we will always get an extra creature. Yasharna is one underestimated creature. It's so good, it's a really solid creature. 4 mana, we will get a creature with power 4, toughness 4, and we'll bring 2 extra lands, it must be a forest and a plains, into our hand. One of my favorite is Felidar Retreat. It can make such a huge impact on the game, and even more on Skewed Swarm. On the tokens especially, because they will always get +1/+1 whenever we will play a land. So they will become a big threat for our opponent when we have 1000 tokens with +X/+X. And besides that, also the other ability can be very useful, depending on the situation, of course, because we can just create 2/2 white cat beast creature tokens. But the biggest hit will come when we will play Ashaya, which makes all creatures into land type, so it will always activate all the abilities. Every time a creature is entering the battlefield, it automatically triggers all of our creatures' ability. We will gain tons of life, tons of creatures. We'll pump our creatures up with Felidar Retreat. It's truly amazing to cast Ashaya and see the wilderness of this deck spreading across the whole battlefield and devours everything. Yeah, last but not least, we have 24 lands in total, and with the model double-faced cards we have even 33 lands, so that will not be the problem. Yeah, if you like the video, subscribe and stay tuned, and see you next time. Bye bye.